Oi oi my dollars, it's your guys a Big Daddy Cow here for a brand new video. And today, I'm going to be talking about logs, how we can analyze them, and use them to help you guys improve. We're going to be going over casts, timelines, defensive usage, part usage, trinket usage, and just general stuff of looking up your spec to see how you can improve. So, without any further setback, let me set this to the right capture and boom, let's go have a quick little dive in. So here's the Warcraft log website. Okay, I know I'm zoomed in a little bit, so please bear with, but let's get into it. So first off, one of the big things we want to do is come down to this raids button because we want to see who's the best at what we're playing. Let's take Plexus Sentinel as an example, and I think a good spec to start us off actually is potentially Survival Hunter. So, you know, I'm no Survival Hunter expert. I've just picked this spec up recently, and I play it for fun. But how do I learn it? So we can go to the rank 1 log here, and we can actually get quite a lot of good information here. First off, that BM is way better on Plexus Sentinel than Survival. But if I want to learn how to play Survival Hunter on Mythic Plexus Sentinel, here's what I'm doing. So I'm clicking on the rank 1 Survival Hunter here. I'm looking at his damage done at the moment. I want to swap this to cast. Get used to this process, guys. You want to go to casts and then timelines. Now you can see exactly what this guy has pressed and when he's pressed it. I can see as soon as the timer's hit 0, he's throwing out a bomb, he's harpooning in, he's doing a mongoose strike, he's popping his cooldowns, getting a kill command in before he does his spearhead, then does his flanking strike, and then what he's doing here is he's like pressing each of his abilities once, just rotating everything. And see, he's probably got quite a lot of fury, so he's doing a bit of a fury dump, probably waiting for a charge of wildfire bomb to come back out before he goes back to doing his normal cycling through every single button again. And then, as you can see, it's been 30 seconds, so he's doing a flanking strike again, because that's the cooldown on the ability. How do I know this? Because, as I say, I've been playing this spec a little bit, so I've gotten a little bit used to it. But, what you can see here is a lot of useful information. When you go and just look at, like, the top damage, you might be missing out on some of this info. If I take this back to tables and I go to damage done, you're going to see, oh, Mongoose Bite is on top and Wildfire is pretty high, so just spam those two. But then, and then also, Kill Command's quite low, so I probably don't want to press that often. But, like, that is wrong. Because as you can see here, he's pressing Kill Command a lot. So one of the big things to notice with this is, like, clearly there's a way to weave in your builders as you do your spenders and get huge damage. So, yeah, cast timelines is definitely something big and eye-opening for getting you to learn how something works. Another spec which I think is quite good to look into here is Destruction Warlock. So if I go to the top Destruction Warlock, and like I didn't want to preload any of these pages because I want to sort of show you guys the process of how I go and check it myself. So let's go to this the rank 1 guy who is in an Asian language, which I don't know, I can't tell from the symbols, but hey, report logged in another language. Don't mind if I do, let's press that translate button and get the amazing Asian translations, because sometimes they are funny as. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we have any funny translations though, so okay, it seems like everything's translated accurately, but sometimes you can actually get quite a funny translation, and it's a good laugh. Anyway, let's put this onto cast timelines again. You have to bear with a lag a little bit. But here you can see why I wanted to bring up Destruction is because as some of you may know, Destruction does 2 reasons for conflag. Well, 3 reasons to press conflag. 1, it gives you soul shards. 2, it reduces the cast time of your next Soulfire, Chaos Bolt, or Incinerate. And 3, it applies a debuff to the enemy called Roaring Blaze, which increases the damage it takes. But it doesn't last that long. So, you know, you might want to treat conflag as a way to be a maintenance for it, or you might just want to be sending conflags as you get lots of Chaos Bolts. But here, as we can see, like, he's done his opener. He's clearly, you know, if you know Warlock, there's a bit of ritual tech, which will allow you to do a really fast cast on pull. But that's what he's done here. And then just opted to burn all of his shards straight away. And he's got a Soulfire proc as well. Probably had that early, which is why he did the long Chaos Bolt. Because he knew he'd get his Soul Shards back straight away. Oh, sorry, Infernal Bolt, my bad. Because he's done the pre-pull ritual. He's guaranteed that he's going to get this Infernal Bolt to give him 3 Soul Shards. So he can just instantly burn 4 Soul Shards here. He's got 3 back. He can now do a Chaos Bolt. So he's clearly conflagging to do a fast Chaos Bolt. Right now is probably Bloodlust. So he's spending his conflags to do multiple fast Chaos Bolts. By now it will be on cooldown. So he can't do another conflag before this Chaos Bolt. So he's just doing a regular Chaos Bolt. In fact, this one might be a Overfiend or yeah, I think this one might actually just be a Diabolic Ritual Chaos Bolt, hence why it's a short cast time. Then he's throwing out a Soulfire. Now he's got Conflag back up. He can do a fast Chaos Bolt again. And now he's just doing his usual rotation. And his Conflags are just being used here, really, to do some fast Chaos Bolts in quick succession. Of course, now he's having to deal with mechanics with the walls, using Phase Blink to get through. And then you can see here from out, his conflags are sort of used in pretty quick succession. He's sort of pulling them a little bit and then using them together rather than trying to keep up the Roaring Blaze debuff on the enemy. Yeah. There's not too much spacing going on. There's a little bit of spacing here, which has led to him getting some decent uptime on the debuff. But for the most part, yeah, it's pretty much just sending it for the shorter Chaos Bolts. So, you know, there's a lot of good information here, and can very much answer a lot of questions, like, should I try and play around this debuff or that debuff if there's conflicting reasons to press a button? But, yeah, you know, here you can pretty much see, maybe it's best on Plexus Mythic, it's a Destro lock, that I just sort of pull my conflags for faster Chaos Bolt cast times, especially when I don't have a ritual to send my next Chaos Bolt on, because of course the ritual reduced the cast on Chaos Bolt. This way he's getting way more casts going out. So yeah, that's a pretty major way how you can sort of look at logs to see how you're meant to play a spec. Casts, timelines is your best friend. It's so good. Now, speaking of timings, I want to quickly swap onto defensive usage here, before I start talking about trinkets. So this website, what's it called? Lorrgs.io, Lorrgs.io. Of course, I'll be putting both a link to this and Warcraft logs down in the description below, for those of you who are not familiar with the site, as is. But yeah, here you're gonna see sort of timings of when people use defensives, and also their offensive abilities. So, you know, being a Havoc main now, of course, I'm going to want to come in here and I'm going to want to see, well, what are people doing for Havoc? Let's just pick a different boss to Plexus Center. So how about we go with Forge Weaver Raz? There's a lot of good moments to be using different stuff. And, yeah. So, what we got going on here? So, we can actually see the boss abilities and talk one loads of different abilities. Usually, the less important abilities aren't really shown here. I mean, maybe you might want to see this to see defensive usage. But pretty much, the greater abilities, if you see, let's say a defensive was right here, maybe Blur was used on the 1 minute mark, then you might think, oh, why has he done that? Invoke Collector. Oh, okay, he's pressed Blur because of this ability which isn't toggled on. Most of the time, you can leave these abilities grayed out. Just grayed out. Sorry, I need a drink here. Lovely. So as you can see here, a lot of the Demon Hunters are just popping their offensive cooldowns on pull, which is great. It's a very easy way for you to be able to see when they're popping their cooldowns. It's a lot easier than checking Warcraft logs timelines, that's for sure. But yeah, here we can see he's pretty much trying to pair his Essence Break with a lot of his big damage, and relatively on cooldown. Then, yeah, let's go look at the defensives a bit more. So if I take off meta and let's take off the hunt, let's have a look at blur here. So as you can see here, this is one of those instances where it's like, well, why are the defensives being used? And, well, to be honest, looks like kind of a mystery, but I can tell you why from my knowledge of the fight. This is when the pylons, will be going off, I believe. And so there's just big damage going out anyway. But you can see some of these early blurs. You've got the Astral Harvest where the ads are spawned. This guy probably had to deal with ads, so he went over, popped his blur, dropped his ads, and then came back. And of course the soak went out as well, I believe. Yeah. So this is soak number 2. He would have popped blur because most likely he's popped darkness on the first Astral Harvest. Let's see if that's true. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. It's when I have to pop it at least. Yeah, so he'll be dropping his ads, and there'll be a soak going out, so he'll be using a defensive to try and live that. You could also see, it should be able to see Netherwalk, yeah. Sometimes they might be running a Netherwalk, to just, you know, mitigate the damage done. But yeah, a lot of the time you can go through this and see, oh, there's a pattern. A lot of DHs are using their blurs at like the 3-minute mark. Maybe it was so if we check, let's check Plexus. This is an obvious one. So as we're doing the, this group soaks, the 2-cycle group soaks, just a blur. Easy. Wait, is that group soak or is that the tank thing? No, that is a group soak. So they're saving it for the group soak and the second tank, explosion. That way, they're getting a lot of value out of their defensive here. And yeah. You also got to bear in mind, though, a lot of these top logs, they've also got really good kill times, pretty good healers. So sometimes you might want to alter it a little bit. If you've got particularly low healing points, then potentially you might want to go and just decide, hey, I'm going to move my defensive to, let's say, the intermission shield as we're struggling on healing here. But yeah, for the most part, you know, their blur is going right before the intermission starts and lasting a bit into it, and then they're getting the shield down and they're moving on. But yeah, defensive usage is key. It can keep you alive, mean you have to panic about your health a lot less, and let you keep way more uptime. So always check sites like Lorrgs to sort of see what is going on. Now, apologies, I may have messed up the specifics on what abilities were said on the timeline, but the general gist of it is you want to be looking at your defensives and then comparing it to what the boss is doing, and sort of sit here and think, why are people doing this? This is the biggest thing I can say when looking at timelines and when looking at logs. You look at what someone's done, and you have to think, why have they done this? Like, why is he conflagged here, but not at the start? Because he's done a pre-pull ritual. Yep, that's why his Chaos Bolts are shorter than your Chaos Bolts if you don't do that ritual. For those of you that don't know the Warlock tech, you have a 20-second pull timer, you summon a Succubus at 15 seconds, then you summon your main pet with Fell Domination about a second after it's been active, and then you have a Demonic Ritual going. On pull, the ritual will be ready, which means your Chaos Bolt or Hand of Gul'dan is a shorter cast time and you summon a demon. That's why he has a short cast time here and it has the Infernal Bolt. Other specs may have similar pre-pull rituals, which is something you've got to look out for, but you can't really tell in logs. A lot of that tends to be through word of mouth or through class guide content creator guide content creation. Yeah. You can probably find out about a lot of these pre-pull rituals on different class discords, to be fair. Or if you just know people performing in higher prog, chances are they already know about it in various different variations. Say for Demonology, we had 2 different variations. One was pre-summon of Alfheim, another was do the Succubus thing. Both were pretty good. But yeah, so that is how you can use the timelines of casts to be able to see when to pop items. Now next I'm gonna try and find a class with an actual unused trinket if a Warcraft Lorrgs website doesn't completely lag out on me. Which unfortunately it does seem like it is. Hey, there we go. So, I'm just gonna yap until this fixes itself, which hopefully it does pretty soon. But basically, another thing you can do is you can just go into the general cast, the analysis, and go see, well, hey, oh, actually, no. Let me do this through Lorrgs for now. So, Lorrgs, we can also go and check, like, okay, let's bring back my meta here. When is Nether Prism being used? Well, of course, it's being used right at the end of the fight. Let's actually go to Salhadar, as this is a much easier example to explain. So, some people are, like, popping the Nether Prism on pull, bit like with the Spymaster trinket in Season 1, if any of you remember that. But, towards the end of the fight is when a lot of people are popping it. Why? Because there is a damage amp when you're hitting the dragon. So you pop it, and you do a huge burst. You do insane damage to that dragon, and you absolutely nuke it down. And just bear in mind, once again, these are the highest bosses, so these guys have got bosses more on farm rather than doing it on prog. But in progress, it's a big consideration. You see, hang on, they're popping Prism here, and meta, and like all their cooldowns. Why? King's Hunger. That's when Salhadar is draining the dragon. During that time, the dragon takes increased damage. So yeah, this trinket why build stacks and press it and get a big damage burst, I want to be using it right then and there when the damage amp is about. I believe the same goes for Dementia, so I'm not 100% sure on like the why for Dementias. I haven't fully looked into this fight, so excuse me on that one. But you will notice that a lot of Prism users will be sort of holding it quite late into the fight. Yeah, I'm too dumb to figure this one out at the moment. But yeah, Salhadar, definitely. Excuse me. But then there's plenty of other trinkets. Let's go look at Fractalus for a sec, and let's look at Araz's Ritual Forge. Now, this is a classic trinket where it's like, well, I'm just going to pair this with my main cooldowns. It's as simple as that, yeah? It is a... right, I'm dealing damage now. Trinket, go. Big damn. Big hit the boss. Probably going to see the same with Priory here. No different. So yeah, it like a lot of trinkets are going to be simple, like, okay, just pop on cooldown. But then, yeah, you got niche trinkets like Nether Prism, which you will see just sent whenever. But yeah, also, like, speaking on this matter, with cooldowns being held, it's important to notice some of this stuff. As, you know, intuitively, you might just want to be sending your cooldowns on cooldown, because surely that's how you get the most damage. But, no, there's definitely points, like, say, on Salhadar, where you get the damage amp, where you want to be making sure your cooldowns are ready to deal that big damage. Right, is the Lorrgs website back up? No, it is not. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. We're just going to use Lorrgs for now. So, another thing we might want to check is, maybe, let's say, Lumafar. This one might be better tips for you as a raid leader. I'm going to get rid of some of this clutter. So, a lot of the time, there is a debate for Lumafar. Do I use Bloodlust on phase 2 or on pull? Well, simply speaking, this is going to help you see a lot. Now, the average for these high log kills is Bloodlust on pull. Also, as I've mentioned time and time again, these may not necessarily be proc kills. A lot of them are highly likely to be farm reclear kills. But you can see, well, we've got a log here without Lust and so. But then we've got a log here with Lust in P2. But then you're also noticing, like, oh, well, my guild's lusting in P2. Do I want to hold cooldowns? And as you can see, this guy is not holding cooldowns for it. Like, sure, his meta comes back a bit in, well, towards the end of Lust, but he's not utilizing Lust. Maybe if he did, he might have got the higher pass here, but No, he didn't, and yeah, Luster's came back. Well, Luster's gone off, and he's not held any cooldowns for it. He's still done pretty good damage. All this talking, I swear, does me in. But yeah, you can see a lot here. A lot of people are just electing to Lust on Pull. Some people doing it later, but Lust on Pull just seems to be the go-to strat. So yeah, this is more of a useful tip for raid leaders. You can also see, like, if there's... I just want to quickly check the bosses to see if anyone's erratically doing their cooldowns differently. Say, maybe one of these guys might be getting PI? Okay, these seem to be quite random PIs. I want to see if there's a good example. Just give me a minute. So it seems like this one, they're just getting PIs at relatively decent timings. Okay, one of those was like atrocious. But yeah, there's not really much saving of cooldowns for PI on this spec. Maybe if I go to yeah, that's taking me to Warcraft logs. Let's go have a look at Arms Warrior, as this is a 1:30 cooldown. And if it were to get PI, then it might be saving. So if I take off Tempered Potion, get rid of Bot, I don't want to look at most of this stuff. I just want to look at PIs. So a lot of these guys getting PIs, it seems to just be a 1 PI and done scenario. If we have a look at Avatar, you know, you can see here, this guy's getting PI, of course 2-minute mark, but he's not saving cooldowns for it, and he's still doing pretty well. So, you know, sometimes when your spec doesn't align too well with PI, you might not want to be holding stuff for it. But, you know, some of the specs you might want to. I was hoping this would be a good example of it. Maybe, yeah, no. So, as you can see here, it's just, the PI gets sent, and it kind of adds the damage. It's not insanely crazy, though. But, you know, you get the gist. If you're wondering if you should save your cooldowns for PI, this is another great way to check. It's kind of unfortunate I can't go into Warcraft logs and show you more. So I might just rebrand this entire guide as how to use Lorrgs and timelines to your advantage. And then maybe do a part 2 delving more into Warcraft logs. Yeah, it's just unfortunate the website's gone down as of time of recording. If I'm lucky here, nah. It is what it is. It is what it is, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to show you guys. You can use these timelines for seeing defensives, how to use your trinkets, how to use your racials as well. Let's take Berserking as an example. Wait, no, that lines up better. Blood Fury, once again, same for PI logic, it's kind of just being sent on cooldown. You're not seeing the Orc Warriors hold their Blood Fury for when they get big damage. They're just, you know, they pair it up with damage at the start. They might have like their Blade Storm come off cooldown and then Blood Fury the Blade Storm to get a bit of extra damage out of that. But sort of, in general, it is just sent on cooldown. As you can see here, this guy, his Blood Fury is dropping off right as his Blade Storm's going. So he's not getting, like, huge cooldown value combined with it. If I bring out Colossus Smash here as well, as you can see, all these Blood Furies are actually inside of a Colossus Smash. So, you know, I've just given you a perfect example of overlooking a small detail. As I said earlier, you might see a random defensive and click one of Grey Things and then see clearly, oh, well, actually, I am meant to press it here because of this boss ability. So, yeah, here's another example. I saw these Blade Furies, but I didn't have Colossus Smash, Blood Furies, but I didn't have Colossus Smash on the timeline. I put Colossus Smash on, and now I can clearly see that these Blood Furies are coming during Colossus Smash windows. Of course, he's prioritizing the Blade Storm, which means his Blood Fury probably still had like a second or two left for this player here for rank 10. But yeah, he's got his Blood Fury after the Blade Storm, probably doing that into the Mortal Strike that gets extra damage because he Blade Stormed. And yeah, getting some pretty meaty damage off of that. But yeah, in general, Yeah. 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 That's how you use Lorrgs to your advantage, guys. Pots as well, you can quite easily see a lot of people will pot on their opener. If I can see, let's take a slightly longer fight. Does Lumberfire last long enough? Yeah, okay. You can see here, he pots on pull. 5-minute mark, he can pot again. But he's holding it for his next set of cooldowns. And a lot of people will opt to do this. Sometimes you get people who will just pot. Their pot is back, so they just pop. Like this guy, his Colossus Smash is dropping off in 1 second, but he's still using his pot, probably because his raid leader told him to. And then it's like just about lasting into his next go. Still getting value out of his next Colossus Smash. Does he have Bloodlust at this point? No, he doesn't have Bloodlust. It doesn't have PI either. It's just a go of like, oh, yep. Okay, I can pot again, I'll pot again. But a lot of people would tend to pair their next pot up with their next round of cooldowns. Maybe also with Havoc, we can see an interesting one where meta isn't quite back, but pot is still being used. If I take off all the defensives here quickly, wait, no, that's an important one to see. And let's try and get to a 5-minute fight. Just try and disable all the clutter. So like here we go. So there's no meta available for this guy. This guy pot meta prior, but he's still choosing to use his pot. So he's done a hunt, vengeful retreat, I-beam, into the tempered pot and the essence break, I believe. Is that pot on the essence break? It's 509. The essence break is also 509. So yeah, he's potted with his essence break and then done a burst there. He's not doing it with full cooldowns. He's just sending it because he knows the boss is going to die before he even gets to have another use of meta anyway. So he might as well use that second pot to get more damage. You may also, of course, like I said with defensives, you can do the same for seeing, oh, when does he use Healthstone, Health Pot? You know? If I take off Tempered Pot and PI and a couple of these other abilities, just a general overview, when's he using his Health Pot? Let's maybe see Forge Weavers, there's a bit more damage going out here. Boom, he's Health Potting right here as the sort of phase is ending and he's going into the sort of right before the damage amp's happening. And yeah, just getting some big damage out here. What am I saying? A lot of people are using this moment to heal up a bit, using their pots or their healthstones. Then you've also got to remember that currently healing pot will heal more than a healthstone. So you might see in longer fights, you know, one is held over the other for survivability purposes. Like, here's a perfect example at rank 11. So this guy, he's using his health pot as the first thing to do when he needs a bit of healing, and then he's using his healthstone a bit later. Maybe it's due to a mechanic, maybe he accidentally steps into something, and yeah, he's using that to stay alive. But yeah, that's how you can use timelines and Lorrgs to give yourself a pretty good advantage. And yeah, okay, good news. Warcraft Lorrgs has came back up. So we'll just do one more quick dive into sort of usage and comparisons, and then yeah, that will be that. So if you just give me a sec, I'm gonna go into Discord and I'm actually gonna grab one of my own logs. So right, let's get my log from last raid and let's compare how I did on Plexus Sentinel. Let's bring up Havoc here and Plexus Sentinel Mythic, and let's go over to Hellereka. This is me. So yeah, I'm going to use this as an example, and I'm going to use pretty much my damage done, my cast, my timelines, and my buffs to see important details. The reason for this being is, say something like buffs, I can actually see demonic soul because I'm playing First Guard. If someone had that on pull compared to me and they did more damage, then that's a big thing to look at. So what I might do here is I'm gonna pull that out, bring that to the side. Don't really like you seeing my monitor background, but whatever. And I am gonna do I have another capture available? Please bear with me. That goes above my own camera. Right, hang on. Let me cook. It's worth your time, I swear, I promise. So let's use this one. Now you can unfortunately see the other parts of my PC, but whatever. And if I just swap to my other webcam thing, so I can just let's just move this sort of in the middle. Actually, I'll move myself up top. Well, hey, good down, you peasants. I'm kidding. So yeah, what we're gonna look at here, we're gonna go to Arianis, how he played, and I just realized I clicked off my own log. GG. I'm really paying attention here, and it looks like Warcraft logs is down again. That's really unfortunate. Oh no, I'm wrong. This is the terrifying thing about just doing one-take videos. But what we can see here straight away, we've got a lot of information. We can see all the hits, the casts. If I, like, you know, expanded this a bit, we can actually read this column. You know, lots of Annihilation casts, barely any Death Sweep casts. There are still some, and like very few Blade Dance casts, which you're going to see is a big difference between me and him, because I don't do that. And you're also going to see a lot of the Demon Surge triggering abilities, as well as just the regular Demon Hunter abilities. But then, as I'm saying, like, you can get a Demon Soul before pull, and so I can go into buffs here and see if he's done that. And like I mentioned, I may be talking about Havoc specifically here, but your spec as well might have similar buffs to this. So this is why I want to check buffs. I'm actually just going to go in timelines here. Hopefully it doesn't like completely clog everything up, because it might show me all the buffs from everyone. Yeah. So, okay, yeah, we're going to see all the buffs here. But what we can do, because, like, yeah, here we see he's got Demon Soul on pull, which means he picked up the Demon Soul right before starting. We can go look at self-applied, and then we're going to take out stuff like Rally and any healing buffs. This is now so much easier for us to see what he's got active and when. So as you can see, he's got a Demon Soul that lasts for a decent bit of time, and then he's done his... So he'll gather his Demon Soul from pre-pull, he'll do his I-Beam, get another Demon Soul, go into meta, and I-Beam again and get another Demon Soul, and then that's lasting a good amount of time. And then, yeah, he's probably done another I-Beam, and then he's gone and grabbed his Demon Soul. But as you can sort of see here, if I get rid of the thing there, and just try and get this a bit more no, it won't let me. If I look, he gets his new Demon Soul at 33 seconds, and he's activated I-Beam at second 30, yeah? So, one thing we can check is we can go into cast timelines and see, well, does he use his Empowered Blade Dance and Annihilation before getting that Demon Soul? So, 33 seconds was the mark where he got his Demon Soul. So he does the Death Sweep. During the time he's Death Sweeping, he gets the Demon Soul, and now he's spamming Annihilation again. And, as you'll be able to see pretty clearly, if we go to damage done, we go to tables, Annihilation says top damage. So clearly he's trying to pull in all his damage amps for when he's going to be spamming those Annihilations. And yeah, like I said, you can use a lot of his logic to determine how a lot of specs will play. I know, like I say, I'm looking into Havoc a lot here, but you can probably take a lot of this info and see how you can apply it to your own gameplay. So as you can see here, the DPS numbers for the two of us are vastly different. This might be due to kill time. It is not, no. I have no excuse. I'm just worse than him. Simply put. But yeah, if we compare, so his immo auras are doing more than me. Potentially, he just got more procs than me. Pretty easy way to see this is like it's quite a proc-based thing. Immo aura, he did 10 casts of immo aura. Yeah. Whereas me, I did 14. I did more casts than him than less damage. So there'll be a reasoning for me to look into as to why that happened. And I'm sure if I delve into the timelines for long enough, I'll be able to quite clearly see, oh, yeah, maybe it's because my uptime was really low. Something like that. Oh, excuse me. But, yeah. Another thing I can do is also compare where am I using my essence breaks, and I managed to get one more off than he did, compared to him. So I can go cast timeline for the two of us, and sort of see, like, am I doing stuff in the same order he is? As you can see, also, like, his opener is proving to be a bit different than mine. So my opener, I'm going in for the hunt, the I-beam, because I've already pre-immo-aura'd, and then I'm just sending my buttons, and then I'm using meta. I didn't use up all my immo-auras, which has given me less damage. Where as you can see, he's pressing immo-aura before doing his I-beam, and then eventually going into meta. Another key difference you can see is that he's paired his Ritual Forge with the hunt. I haven't, which is probably also another big loss of damage. You see the Vengeful Retreat here, and this can probably quite easily be found out. If I go into summary, he's probably going to have the Initiative talent, which is a talent that I don't run. If we look here, so he's got Inertia. So yeah, whenever he Vengeful Retreat, more damage. Well, he does a Vengeful Retreat, then his Fell Rush or Fell Blade will give him more damage. Now, I can go and see what he's using to get that damage buff after the Vengeful Retreat. I'm going to wager it might just be a Fell Blade. It's actually a Fell Rush. So he's done the Vengeful Retreat, he's spent both of his consuming fire stacks, then he's Fell Rushed in, then he's gone and done his Essence Break, and he's now spamming Annihilation. He's still not done his Metamorphosis Empowered Death Sweep. The Essence Break drops off, then he does the Death Sweep, the Sigil, spams some more Annihilations, does the Fire, does another Death Sweep for some reason. Now, I'm not sure why. I can't tell you this one. I'd have to look into it a bit more, and I don't think it's appropriate to do that in the video. But he does do it. I'm telling you, man. All this talking gets your throat. But, then yeah, he keeps it going. When does he do his, I-beam in the meta? He should have the special name. He doesn't do it at all. So, here's another key difference. Abyssal Gaze, he doesn't. He's willingly dropping a Demon Surge for more damage. So it's, yeah, there's a lot of information and a lot of differences between me, a 90 passer, and him, the rank 1 passer. Lots of information for me to learn here. And that's just a few examples. I could probably talk about this for a really long time, but this is already a 40-minute video, and I know a lot of you guys are probably falling asleep at this point. So I'm gonna love you and leave you at this. If you have any more questions, I'll answer them in the comment section down below. And if there's enough questions, I'll do a part 2 video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful gaming session whenever you're next on. And I hope you will improve to the best of your ability. GG.